This is Chris Parsons at Behind the Curtain with our two guests, Doug Heron and Nick Lewis. Before the break, Nick honored us with a monologue performance from the fabulous British musical Blood Brothers. Let's take a moment to break it down. Now, Nick, can you tell us a little bit about the motivation of your character during this monologue that you did?
It's the first time we meet Mickey, who is aged 7, nearly 8, and I think it just sets up the character and the whole innocence and the whole thing about childhood, wishing to have what you haven't got. But I like the certainly the innocence of the childhood, but also how dated, for the older members who were listening, how we used to want to have a catapult and 2 dead worms, and that's what we aspired to have in our pockets.
And it does. It kind of captures the youth that everyone remembers, even if that wasn't their youth per se. And it's a great musical about 2 brothers who were growing up not knowing that they're actual brothers until the very end, and the very tragic end, isn't it? Yeah. But a great musical. If you haven't seen it, definitely take a look at it. Okay, Doug, it's your chance to be the theater critic now. What did you think of Nick's performance, and were there any notable standout moments for you?
Well, I thought it was fabulous, and I really liked his Scottish accent. I thought that was a crack. That was a key thing. No, I love that. I thought it just evoked a really a long ago tone. He captured that child's voice really well, and it was just lovely. It was evocative, brings tears to a glass eye.
Indeed. And the thing is, you can really hear, even though you're just one of the brothers talking, I could still hear the other brother's voice, because you just brought it to life and made it really real for us. So thank you for that. All right. Before we get to the next performance, just a quick reminder that the Pattayaplayers' next featured production is Divorce Sale, which will run June 14th and 15th. Tickets are 1,000 baht each and can be purchased at www.pattayaplayers.org. And now, Doug will be performing a classic soliloquy from the bard himself, William Shakespeare. In this scene from Hamlet, the lead character questions the meaning of life and whether or not it is worthwhile to stay alive when life contains so many hardships. All right, Doug, dazzle us.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep no more, and by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub, for in that sleep of death what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life, for who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin? Who would fardels bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveller returns, puzzles the will and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of? Thus conscience does make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied over with the pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pith and moment with this regard their currents turn awry and lose the name of action. Soft you now, the fair Ophelia.
All right. And quite a different monologue, a very serious tone to that one. Very nicely done. And coming up next, we'll talk a little bit about Doug's monologue, but also we'll have our exclusive behind-the-scenes, can you guess it, Broadway Buster Trivia Challenge question. Stay tuned.
If you're asking me